You, Sanji Uchiha here, people. What's going on? So I just not too long come back off of the road, and yeah, of course I'm aware that Boruto Manga chapter 35 is out. Obviously, this that's what this video is about. So yeah, today we'll be talking about Boruto Manga chapter 35. Of course, before we get into it, be sure to rate, comment, subscribe. Shout outs to the new subscribers, new and recent subscribers. Same thing, I suppose. Yeah, now the return subscribers as well. So. Honestly, we have a lot of things to talk about. The chapter, hot, brother. Hot, hot, hot. So, yeah. Cue the intro and let's get into it. Yeah, so as I was saying before, we have a lot to talk about where Boruto Manga chapter 35 is concerned. Of course, after a month break. Yeah, we didn't get any chapter last month, as I'm sure you're all aware. But after this long a wait and getting right back into things, Boruto Manga chapter 35 does not disappoint at all, honestly. It's the type of chapter, well, for those of you who have been watching my reviews, you know how I go. I usually have my initial impressions of these chapters for the most part. And Boruto Manga chapter 35 is one of those chapters where, it was just crazy, honestly. Like, so many things were set up, so many questions need to be asked and answered, and it was an excellent chapter, I'm not gonna lie. But let's get into the dissection of it. So for the most part, the chapter starts off where we left off with chapter 34, with Kawaki talking to Kurama. And of course, as many of you I'm sure would have expected, our guests for the most part, Kurama and Kawaki, their exchange leads into Kurama telling Kawaki about Naruto's past, essentially. Now, before Kurama goes into the quote-unquote flashback or just telling Kawaki about Naruto, we get an interesting note from Kawaki, which I'm going to link back and probably theorize something towards, well, later in this review. He mentions that Jigen or Kara's documents, they have information on the teal beasts, so that's interesting. Yeah, so that's one thing. But for the most part, the exchange between Kurama and Kawaki, it really and truly proves that Kawaki, out of all the new characters that have been introduced in the Boruto era, Kawaki may in fact be like top 3, if not top 5. Like, he's in those set of characters who has had the most development, who are most interested in. I mean, the flash forward with Konoha destroyed and him versus Boruto aside, the manga has been doing an excellent job of developing Kawaki's character, I'm not gonna lie. He, stemming back from, let's say, chapter 25, 26, and he just came to the village to now, I think he's had some very good development. Realistic, I'd say. I mean, it's not beyond the scope of seeing a person like him in real life and seeing how they could develop like that at his age and come to the point he's at now. I mean, he still has further to go, but for the most part, he's been making some great developments in his character, despite whatever marketing scheme they used to draw us into the Boruto era with him. He's had some great development, and I dare to say he may be top 3 in terms of my favorite characters, in terms of new set of characters in the Boruto era. So yeah, he learns more about Naruto's past and the fact that Kurama stealed him, killed his parents, the works. You know the whole drill. And Kurama mentions that the 5 Kage actually asked him along, because I thought this would be just a thing between Naruto and him, but apparently it's Naruto and the rest of the Kage actually asked Kurama to watch Kawaki if Naruto is not available, aka if he's sleeping like he is now. So there's that. And at the end of their exchange, we see Kawaki shed a tear, and it's great seeing him. And like this, honestly, he's made some major developments in his character, as I said. Now, moving on from that, we get a scene of Naruto training Kawaki, teaching how to, use his chakra to walk up trees and all of that. And we get a bit of comedy. For those of you that have been watching or reading Naruto from D1, you would know the whole chakra control to run up trees and walk on water as well was a difficult thing for Naruto and Sasuke to a lesser extent back in the day. And Kawaki has pretty much already mastered it. They've even noted that he has excellent chakra control. So we get this funny, like, only like as those persons who have been reading or watching from back then would find this really funny, that Naruto mentions that, you know, he basically learns it quick, he has great chakra control, and then Kawaki's mentions that he's tired of the basics, he wants to learn Shadow Clone. But Naruto makes the expression like, you know, he did it fast, and then Boruto says, you know, he also learned it quickly. And that's definitely a shout out back to the fact that he and Sasuke took a while to, you know, have control of their chakra like that, to like walk up trees and all that. So I just found it funny, honestly. Yeah, so there was that. And then it's at this point we get more into the results of what Team 7's mission was, or yeah, what Team 7's mission was with Kawaki when they brought him back Kawaki, and the information that Konohama got from the blimp that Kara had, the flash drive, I suppose. Yeah, so apparently based on the exchange between Shikamaru and Sai, apparently it's coordinates to a location, which they basically are saying that it looks like it's a trap because it can only be accessed, the coordinates can only be accessed through space-time ninjutsu. And I don't wrong them to say that, yo, it's a trap more than likely, because Sai was saying, you know, it's only can be reached through space-time ninjutsu. And considering how the dialogue with the Kara members went last chapter, with them basically knowing and being aware of the presence of Sasuke Uchiha and Naruto Uzumaki, just to like imply that they've been doing their research on them, I'm pretty sure they know only Sasuke is the only person in the village that can do space-time, well, you know, perform space-time ninjutsu to reach other dimensions at this point. So I mean, it's a fair conclusion or logical conclusion to say it may be a trap. Now it's at this point that we get to the next interesting aspect of the chapter. Sasuke goes to the coordinates. He's on another mission investigating things already. Sasuke being Sasuke. And I'm not gonna lie, even back in Naruto Shippuden, or even that the equivalent sections in the manga, to me, anytime Sasuke is in the story, because he's a character that's off screen a lot, but even though in Shippuden they kind of alternate between Naruto and Sasuke, but you get the point. But whenever Sasuke comes back into the story, I honestly find the story to be like much more interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really like a Sasuke fanboy or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, it just seems more interesting when Sasuke is in the picture, especially since they hardly show him in Boruto, in the manga at this point. So yeah, he goes to the coordinates, and apparently it's some location with the symbols of the various Otsutsuki members. So we have Sasuke investigating some marks on the wall. When he touches them, we have some holograms of Kinshiki, Momoshiki, and Kaguya appear. Now the interesting thing that Sasuke notices is that each of the marks for the holograms, well, they come in pairs. So he makes the deduction or conclusion that, yo, Momoshiki and Kinshiki came together. Kaguya's symbol is there, but there's one above Kaguya, so Kaguya must have came with someone else. And it's at this point that we see another Otsutsuki member, and then Sasuke's like, who is this guy? So there's that. At this point, Jigen comes in, and well, not before that, Sasuke finds a 10 tails. What? Yeah, he finds a Jubi at the location underneath the stands where the holograms appear, and this just makes things like 100 times more interesting, because like it's just crazy. At this point, he was saying he couldn't really determine how many tails it is, but I mean, obviously it's at 10 tails. Jigen comes in at this point, and we see him interacting with the 10 tails, and he's like, 10 tails tries to eat him, and he has some interesting lines by him, where he says, yo, It's not time to eat me yet. I need to complete the vessel. And it's at this point we see him take some of the 10 tails chakra. I like that because I mean, even if Jigen was like some no-name person, like some regular person, it would help to explain how he's that much, or why he's comparable to Naruto in power, if not more powerful. If he's absorbing 10 tails chakra, then makes sense. I'm just saying, makes sense. Yeah, Sasuke, and it's at this point his karma, well, he uses karma mark to absorb the chakra, and then his appearance becomes similar to the additional Otsutsuki that Sasuke is concluding may have come with Kaguya to Earth as well, and that just makes things much more interesting. Of course, Sasuke mentions that he needs to get this information back to Naruto because things may be more serious than they initially thought. Now, of course, the chapter goes into back to Konoha, where our characters are basically theorizing that the karma mark that Boruto and Kawaki have, it's similar to the seal of 100 or Byakugo seal, hopefully I pronounced that right, that Tsunade and Sakura have. And at this point they say that, you know, they're going to find out from Sakura some more information, because apparently, based on Orochimaru's research and it's presented by Mitsuki in this chapter, that the seal that Sakura and Tsunade have, apparently not everyone, that all the secrets or all the information behind it is not completely understood, or they haven't found all the information behind it, which I kind of found to be strange, because then isn't it Tsunade who developed the technique? I mean, it's similar to Hashirama's self-healing jutsu, but it's not exactly the same thing. Maybe it's inspired by it, probably, I don't know. But yeah, they're gonna find out from Sakura, and potentially it may seem like Tsunade may make an appearance going into the future chapters as well, which would be nice. Yeah, so of course Boruto and Mitsuki head off, and Kawaki decides to go home. Of course, Boruto is mentioning that before Boruto heads off, Kawaki basically mentions that, you know, you're gonna have to fight Jigen sooner or later. Like, it's unavoidable, honestly, to kind of put all this madness to rest. Which, yeah, expected. Of course, Boruto and Mitsuki head off, and, you know, they kind of discuss, you know, even if they beat Jigen, it's not a must that the karma seal disappear, and they basically just talk about treating this like an mission, just to take it, just to, you know, so they can take it seriously to the max, essentially. And that's essentially, the chapter essentially ends after that. Some lines by Boruto there. And yeah, that's your chapter. For the most part, this chapter was definitely worth the wait. I found, the only thing I really found questionable, like to almost warrant a negative, almost, was the whole thing with the seal, the karma seal, being compared to Sakura and Tsunade's technique, the 100 healings jutsu, and the fact that they don't know everything about it. But I guess we'll find out more about that as we go along, as they're going to try to Sora's going to try to talk to Sakura, so there's that. But for the most part, chapter 35 hot, like, it's really hot, honestly, definitely worth the wait. Like, I'm almost inclined to give it a perfect score, because it really sets up things going forward in the story. I know a lot of people are complaining about the long Naruto versus Delta match, and it's a chapter like this. A chapter like this is what we needed to actually push the plot forward and actually set up questions for us, the audience, to ask going forward, so that, you know, just to ensure that we're still here, we're still interested. I'm not gonna lie, if you're sleeping on the Boruto manga, like, listen, you just need to read the manga, honestly, because it's hot. And the fact that if you're an anime only watcher, like, you're really missing out. I'm not gonna lie. Like, damn, like, just breaking it down, because from the amazing characterization and the development of Kawaki that's being presented up to this point, the return of the 10 tails, which obviously was a central figure, force of nature in the Fourth Great Shinobi War, and bringing that back into the fray, that's definitely has my interest interest levels are through the roof at this point. Definitely piercing, setting up our interest, characterization and development of characters, you know, funny callbacks. Chapter 35 seems to have all the trademarks you'd have for a traditional or excellent Naruto chapter back in the day, and like it's just so like I just need to see what's gonna happen next. Like, yo. But yeah, I'm glad Sasuke is back in the picture as well. I don't know, we may get if it really is a trap, we may get a Jigen versus Sasuke. That's, I don't know, people. I mean, yo, hold on, I've been recording for 14 minutes. Yo, crazy, brother. Like, what else can I say at this point? The chapter was like absolutely incredible for me personally. I have so many questions though. Like, a 10 tails is artificial. As I said, I wanted to link Kawaki's statement in the beginning to the fact that there's a 10 tails back into the story, because honestly, no matter how you slice and dice it, they didn't kill Kaguya, they only sealed her. She could always be revived. The 10 tails, based on Naruto lore, we know it's a fusion between Kaguya and the God Tree. So, really and truly, Kaguya as the Geromazo is still was sealed in the one of our alternate dimensions. If Jigen has been looking into the tail beast, maybe it's been collecting chakra from them and somehow use that to revive the 10 tails by going to the dimension that Kaguya was at. Maybe not. Or maybe he just merged the chakra of those together into like a artificial Geromazo, to like a Shinju, probably a god tree from a next dimension to create it. Who knows? There's so many things that can that can be going on here. And the fact that Jigen himself may be the Otsutsuki that came to Earth with Kaguya, is it? Or is he just like replicating his appearance by absorbing the chakra? Like, I don't know. But all I know is that chapter 35 of Boruto, absolute greatness. You need to check it out. Please let me know what you guys thought about the chapter in the comment section below. I'm interested. I want to have a discussion with you guys, and I definitely will be doing more videos based on this chapter, obviously. It's stupid. Yeah, obviously. So I don't know, I don't want to keep you guys here any longer. Rate, comment, subscribe. The chapter was definitely lit. As you said, you already heard my points. I'll see you guys in the next one. Sanju Uchiha out.